Welcome back once again to the Money Wisdom Question Series powered by Johnson Brunetti. My name is Jake Dozer. I'm an advisor on the team, a certified financial planner, and a certified private wealth advisor. The question we have in front of us today is, I have debt. How do I get out of debt the most effective way, and how do I do it fast? I don't know anyone who has debt that isn't uncomfortable with it to an extent or wants to get out of it in the most effective way as possible. And so today it's all about what's the best strategy to accomplish that goal. Obviously, there needs to be a baseline. There's an assumption here, which is number one, that you have a budget. So you understand what levers to pull, what expenses can be trimmed, what extra income you have to dedicate towards tackling debt. And if you don't have that, that's a great place to start. The second assumption is that you have a sense of the details on your debt. If you don't have that yet, gather that up. You want to know, how much do you owe? What is the term of the loan? How many years left do you have on it? What's the interest rate? What's your minimum monthly payment? If you are unsure, if you have all that information, you could use a resource like annualcreditreport.com, where once per year you can pull your credit report without a cost. It's really the only place to do this for free. Not your score, credit score. I know that you can get that from various sources like your credit card company, but your credit report that'll tell us all your debt. And so if you go to annualcreditreport.com, you can pull that from each of the 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And then you can review that list versus what you have to see, is there any other debt out there that I'm missing? Well, once we have that foundation established, there's really 2 approaches when you're thinking about debt. Approach number 1 is called the debt snowball method. Here, what we're looking to do is identify which payment is the smallest amongst all your debts. So let's say you have a mortgage that charges you $2,000 a month. Let's say you have a car loan that charges you $600 a month, and you have a credit card that charges you $100 a month. Well, in the debt snowball method, you would first tackle and throw all of your extra expenses at that credit card payment, the smallest one in the list. So obviously continue to make the monthly payments to all of them, but any extra income that you have to throw at debt, start with the smallest payment. Once the smallest loan or line of credit or credit card is paid off, then you continue to take that payment plus all the extra and you apply it to the next highest payment, and so on and so forth. The idea here is that it's a huge psychological win. You'll feel fantastic and be able to see progress as quick as possible while you tackle the smallest to the highest payments. And if you pretend like those payments still exist and you throw all extra payments, the payment you were making plus extra income, and you keep snowballing them, once you're at the highest loan, which in that example was the mortgage, now you've got a ton of extra money going at that debt. Make sure in any of these approaches you're balancing debt reduction with making sure you have enough savings. We need to play offense, which is tackling debt. We also need to play defense, which is making sure you don't go back into debt. So don't throw all your extra money at your debt if you don't have a good savings account in the first place, because that'll result in you quickly going back there. The method number 2 is almost the inverse. It's called the debt avalanche method. In this case, this one is less about behaviorally encouraging ourselves to keep at it and rather more of a mathematical approach. Here what we're doing is, instead of going from the bottom up, we're going from the top down. We're identifying which of our loans, regardless of the monthly payment, has the highest interest rate. And we're tackling the highest interest rate. Again, of course, we're making our monthly payments, whether it's the required minimum or the fixed amount every month, to each of our debt items, but any extra money we have, we're going at the highest interest rate item first and working our way down to the lowest interest. In this way, it might take you theoretically a little bit longer than the snowball method because you're not paying something off quickly, but mathematically it will result in the most dollars saved towards interest because you're paying off the thing that's charging you the most interest. So which method is the right one for you? It really depends on your circumstance. Mathematically, theoretically, on paper, the debt avalanche method is the right one. But at the same time, make sure that you don't hurt yourself along the way psychologically. If you're one who, after a few months and you don't see progress, are going to be discouraged, it might make sense for you to take the debt snowball method so that you're keeping yourself encouraged along the way. We have to find the tension between what makes the most math sense and what am I actually going to do and apply. The math sense might not be the right fit for those folks who are going to get discouraged along the way. So be honest with yourself, evaluate your situation, look at your credit report, make sure you'll have your debt details, look at your budget, know the landscape, and apply. Hopefully the Money Wisdom Question Series video today that we covered was helpful. If it was, give a like on this video so you'll see more of it in your social media feed. And of course, subscribe so that you'll continue to see these videos. We'll see you next time.